Going up.
Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up.
Going up.
But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button.
Going down.
We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40, period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
Final attack point. Mavericks inbound.
It's Pod Maverick.
A Maverick.
Hosted by Kirk Henderson and Josh Bowe.
Holy crap. Welcome to Pod Maverick. This is Kirk Henderson and Josh Bowe joining you guys for what is not, I have the wrong, there we go. We have After Dark off-season edition. What's wrong with me? How are we doing, everybody? You know what? We're just going to take off the overlay. This is Kirk Henderson and Josh Bowe, Pod Maverick After Dark. You guys just heard our brand new intro music, courtesy of our new friends at Odyssey. And shout out to Mavs Moneyball's Matt for helping make that fun video there at the start, too. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing good. I don't know why I shouldn't have expected anything other than Western cowboy. We all ride our horses to work and kill our own cows for dinner. Like that's what we do in Texas, right?
I mean, peel behind the curtain a little bit. So Josh started this podcast, the whatever you called it. What was the original show name? The Mavs
Moneyball podcast.
Just real top-notch SEO branding. Yes. You know what works. Back in like 2019, we're talking 6 full years ago. We got bullied by our then editor's husband, who also worked at Vox, and was like, "You need to do something." He was correct. Josh found rights-free music 6 years ago. Yep. So when we transferred, we've now gone from we're on our third podcast network in short, but just checking through the legalese, at some point, the rights-free music that Josh found had reverted to being a rights situation, and like we were inadvertently using somebody's music. Everything's fine. We just didn't want to get in any trouble, so we had to change our music, and that's that. We might change the video, but we don't know because we're both an audio and a visual format. But Josh, it's been a full week and a day since we've talked. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired, but hanging in there. I'm not going to do, I promise, I honestly forgot, and I don't want to get up now, but I will turn my lights back on. The season's over, so I think I can start again, and if they start the season losing like 3 in a row next season, then I'll turn the lights back on.
Until some news happens, like we have a couple of Mavs things to talk about, but like we're sitting here and we're in this kind of lull. So the lottery happens on my birthday, May 12th, my Dirk Nowitzki year, and I am fully convinced they're going to get the number 1 pick. I've not actually voiced that in any way, shape, or form until right now, because the Mavericks getting the number 1 pick would be the single funniest outcome of any, just because of the range of outcomes from the Mavericks getting the number 1 pick is horrifying. It would be perfect for our podcast and for my life, but we have roughly 12 days until that happens. So Josh and I are in a little bit of a lull zone here. And what I wanted to do, because I've been paying attention to the playoffs and I have some playoff thoughts. I'm not sure if Josh has playoff thoughts. There's been, there's 16 teams in the playoffs, which means 8 series. And I just wanted to kind of go through each one real quick and issue my thoughts. The first one that I wanted to talk about is the now finished Thunder Grizzlies series. The Oklahoma City Thunder swept the Grizzlies 4-0. And the main thing I want to say with regard to that series is I am glad we did not have to be on the shit end of that ass whooping that the Grizzlies got over 4 straight games.
That wouldn't have been pretty.
I mean, there was a one Ja Morant layup attempt where he went up for a reverse and actually hit the side of the backboard on the reverse. And then he got hurt, and it was painful. And I think a healthier Mavericks team, i.e. had Kyrie Irving played and Anthony Davis not look like warmed over butt, might have been a fun 1-8 series. But the Mavericks that we saw towards the end of the year, just not it.
But I mean, yeah, when they got blown out in the play-in, so there's no point in crying over spilled milk, like they had their chance. They didn't get robbed,
And so that was pretty something. Did you see what the Cavaliers did to the Heat to close out the series?
I did see that. I mean, can we look, they're never going to get rid of the play-in.
No.
I get it. Can we get rid of the Eastern Conference play-in? At least that come on, man. Like both the 7-8 series were dog water. Just like I can't.
The Heat are a JV basketball team, and they got the numbers that the Cavaliers put up in that game. It was the most efficient first round series in terms of like point differential, all the major metrics than anything we've ever seen in history. They got beat by 122 points over 4 games.
That's hard to do.
That's hard to do, even for bad teams. Okay.
Right.
That was just my main thought there. The Pacers Bucks series was a little more spicy, and we're going to see some Maverick adjacent thoughts come out of it. The Pacers beat the Bucks 4-1. The final game, the Bucks surrendered a 7-point lead in under 35 seconds. And there was some crazy stat that Tim McMahon posted. I think it was Tim McMahon. It was like the first time since 1997 when they started tracking this stuff that a team had done something like that in the playoffs.
Good Lord. What is it with Pacers? Remember the Mavericks Pacers game ended almost very similarly? I think
that's exactly why I brought it up.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what's going on? And then there was like the near fight after the game with Ben Mathurin, who gives me very much like, you're going to be one of the few people to appreciate this. He gives me like Road Dogg 1998 vibes of like just pretty good player, but not good enough to be the high level shit talker that he is. And for anybody that's younger, Road Dogg.
You just perfectly described Road Dogg as a wrestler.
One half of a unbelievably electric tag team. The D-Generation X, the badass Billy Gunn, and Road Dogg. Anyway, and so then after the game, like there was Tyrese Halliburton's dad yelling at Giannis Antetokounmpo in one of the most like AAU ass things I've actually seen on an NBA court.
It really was.
Like my buddy Matt Moore was defending Halliburton, and I'm like, Halliburton went to the post game wearing sunglasses like he was Apollo Creed in Rocky 2. Take the fucking sunglasses off and look at the camera. If you and your daddy are going to talk big shit, get up there and put it up, because what's going to happen next is I think the Cavs are going to absolutely detonate on the Pacers. That's what I think.
They might. I thought it was. I like the Pacers. Not like
shit talk is
like them. I like their roster. I've been envious of their roster for like 5 years. Like their combination of youth, and then I've always loved Siakam. Remember, I remember when we talked about the Mavericks trying to trade for Siakam, I was always pushing every lever, because I think he's an awesome player. Miles Turner's my guy, literally my guy. My own high
That's
school.
right.
Yeah. Still think about what would have happened if I was born like 5 years later, and what those practices would have looked like. He would have thrown me in the trash can every day for 3 years. It would have been hilarious. Like seriously, like not even like serious, like a boy, like boys among like men among boys kind of thing would have gone on there. But I just like their roster. They got like a really cool combination of youth and veterans, and they're a little chaotic, and then I like how they play. Like their style is fun. So I don't know if they're good. But they're fun.
They're fun. You're right. And the next round series between the Cavs and the Pacers is going to be that kind of fun. Sticking in the Eastern Conference, I have a secret. I've developed a secret love for the Pistons since they like horsewhipped the Mavericks. No, the Mavericks lost to them in that game. Isn't that right?
I know, but I'm saying, do you like them because of your Ron Hollins, your boy, right?
Well, he's, look, like Ron Hollins is the kind of guy that I expect to start an international incident one day. He's just absolutely Looney Tunes. For anybody that doesn't know or doesn't remember, he was part of I want to say it was the 2022 UIL state championship Duncanville team where Anthony Black also played. And Ron Hollins just nuts. He plays hard all the time, love him to pieces. But they're playing the Knicks, and the Knicks are a team that is like just the perfect East Coast bias team where they have a superstar in Jalen Brunson who I love, and I mean this like thoroughly. I am so like, how you say I'm happy we don't, you occasionally joke, and it's not really a joke, that we don't have to engage in the Luka discourse anymore about his defense, his offense, yada, yada, yada. Just the general stuff that come with Luka. I am really glad we don't have to talk about Jalen Brunson, because Jalen Brunson plays a super frustrating version of all of the worst things about Luka, in my opinion. He just like iso ball, dribble, pump fake, grift, score. What do you think? Am I out of bounds there?
No, I don't. No, you're not. I mean, it's definitely like, yeah, it's the he's the epitome of like the falling over. Like, just that's the offense that he has. He dribbles and he falls, and like all these guys love to fall down. Doesn't matter how hard they get hit, doesn't matter where they get touched. They just love to fall down, and it kind of sucks to watch sometimes. But he's also, I mean, he's really good, and he's like, I do, and I don't envy that part of his game and talking about it, but I envy like he definitely has a toughness about him that I admire. Like his ability to fight through injuries,
Yes,
which he shares with Luka, who did that
You're
a
right.
lot. Like I like that part of him, and it's like I like his personality. Obviously, I mean, we watched him for a while.
You're right.
But no, I know what you mean. I mean,
it's a great series. I hope it goes 7. They're currently, the Knicks are winning because the refs screwed former Maverick Tim Hardaway Jr. out of a 3-point attempt to win the game, where he got fouled on the final shot. And the secret thing that I'm okay saying on a Mavericks podcast, but I probably would never tweet out loud, I don't think Tim Hardaway would have made the free throws.
How much were they down? Were they down by 3 or 2?
They're down by 1.
Oh, he would have made 1 at least.
Oh, am I wrong? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I just look, I watched
him to make 1.
Tim Hardaway free throws in clutch time. He sank like a brick. Like it was bad. He lost a number of games in the early Luka years because he couldn't hit free throws. But that's just me being an asshole. Staying in the Eastern Conference, the Celtics beat the Mavericks the Magic 4-1. The Magic are just
I don't want to see the Magic on my television ever again. No, nope. No. Tired of it.
They need it like who's their best player? Paolo Banchero is Julius Randle East. And we're going to talk about Randle in a second, but I can't with him. I don't like him.
I like Anthony. I like our guy Anthony Black.
Yes. I like Jalen Suggs, but I don't know.
Yeah, I like their guys individually, but that team just can we stop trying to do the no shooters, everyone's 6'8"? Like they've tried it for like 5 years. Get some damn guards that know how to shoot on that team for the love of God. Don't put them on national TV ever again until they get a guard that can hit like 37% of his pull-up threes.
Right. Like somebody like 30 bajillion-year-old Fred VanVleet. Like that's like their answer. We're going to talk about the Rockets shortly, but that's just where my brain is. It's so messy. Speaking of that, let's just pivot all the way over to Rockets Warriors. The Rockets destroyed the Warriors earlier tonight to make that a 3-2 series with the Warriors up 3. The Rockets are a riot. They're just a riot. Have you seen any of this series?
Yeah, they're hilarious. They're I mean,
they're
going to
have
personality
to make a
of their coach.
They're going to have to make a trade because Jalen Green is not him.
Yeah, they got too many, and they got too many guys. I mean, they literally have too many. They're going to run into the Oklahoma City problem where they have so many first-round picks on the roster that have already been picked, and they have more to pick. Like they're literally going to run out of room. Like they can't keep all of because they've got so many picks coming to them from trading James Harden. Like they can't keep all the, like, they're gonna, whether they want to or not, they're gonna have to make a trade, because they can't roster all these draft picks that are coming to them, because they already don't play Cam Whitmore and Reed Shepherd, who would probably be like the sixth and seventh best players on Orlando.
I mean,
They'd be like the third or fourth best players on Miami, those are two playoff teams.
How good would they be on the Mavericks?
They would be. Cam Whitmore would start, I think, right?
Cam Whitmore played
Reed Shepherd would start too.
Reed Shepherd played 7 minutes, but
they're good. Like, it's nothing against them. Like, those guys are super talented. Although I know Whitmore's got some. I don't think he meshes.
Did
well
you
with
see
Jokic,
Amin
but
Thompson's stat line? I have to read you Amin Thompson's stat line if you didn't see it tonight, just to get your reaction live on air. Okay,
Yeah.
25 points,
Yeah.
6 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals, 3 blocks.
God damn.
Like, that's not a thing.
Almost a 5x5
Almost a 5x5 in a do or die playoff game.
in his first, as a 20.
Holy
how old is he?
shit.
20 years old? 21?
Him and his brother, who Asar Thompson,
22.
who's also on the Pistons. Quite the performance.
I love him, Matt. We're big men guys.
Well, he's awesome. It's like, so yeah, like the Rockets may have to trade Giannis. The Rockets should be a contender to trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they should demand Amin Thompson is what they should do.
I don't know if Houston does it.
If you're right. Well, right. That's why it's so much
Right.
fun to think about and
Yeah.
be envious of in a specific way.
It's funny. I used to look at all these rosters, like if the Mavericks weren't playing in the playoffs, and I would always be like, I can't do this anymore. But I used to be like, oh, that guy would be awesome with Luka, or that guy would be awesome.
Amin
with Luka.
Thompson would be.
Could you imagine?
I wished, like, there's
That's about a perfect running mate as you can have.
And there's questions about his shooting, but you know what? You live with it. All right, so there's 2 more series I want to discuss, obviously, because there are only 2 left. The Lakers are currently losing to the Timberwolves 31-34, but they got off to a truly horrid start.
They did.
And this is game 5. They scored they scored 22 points in the first quarter of this game. Actually, it's 36-34. I clicked into the series now. But at one point, they had 9 points with 4 minutes left in the quarter.
I think it was like 21-9.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the Lakers are going to win this one. Like, it's like Luka has one of 2 ways that he plays a game. He either starts awesome or he finishes awesome. Those are the 2. Like, you get those 2 things. And he's currently 0 for 4, and the Lakers are down 2. So good fucking luck, Minnesota. Good luck.
And I don't think the NBA, not to put on tinfoil hat, but I don't think the NBA wants the series to end in 5 games.
No, but I mean, Anthony, it's so funny because it's, you and I briefly touched on how we're happy we don't have to have the regular Luka discourse. Yep. Anthony Edwards, one of the things that got forgotten about the Western Conference playoffs is that Anthony Edwards was exhausted, like utterly exhausted in that series.
Last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kyrie ran him off the floor, kind of.
That's right.
Not off the floor, but just...
No, he had an oxygen mask. Like, we never saw it, but it got reported he needed an oxygen mask. And either way, the roles are reversed. And one of the things that I don't want to get too deep into this, but, like, not to, like, outright defend Luka Doncic in every way, shape, or form, but, like, Luka hasn't had his legs under him a single time this season. And if the path forward for Luka is to have his legs, which I think is a fair thing to push if you're a Lakers person or a Luka stan, he has to be in better shape, but that's not happening in season. And lots of people are really being assholes about this because they're being obtuse. I'm sorry, you don't have a chance to train cardio because you're constantly in recovery mode. Cardio, you and I are big men. Luka's a big man. Building up your cardio is something that takes months to years.
Well, and hard to do when you've had 2 calf strains in
That's right.
season. So
that's right. Does he need to drink less beer? Yes. He also just needs time to be better. Okay. I don't know. I mean, look, like I ran up, like it's not the same, but like I was really training for that mile run for a real long time. You remember that? I was like, It was like the thing that I did. And once I hit my goal and I stopped training for a month, and then I tried it again and was like,
"Oh,
how
lose it fast?" Yeah.
How the fuck? I was baffled. I was like, "How did I lose it this fast?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, this is what it's like once you get older." Man, we're already 20 minutes into the show. Last thoughts. The Nuggets, this Nuggets Clippers series is insane. Have you watched any of this at all?
This is the series I think I've watched the most.
Yep, me too.
It's really good, partly because I know people are going to be like Mavs fans are going to be mad, but I've kind of grown fond of this Clippers team.
Yeah.
They're really good, and it's like Harden is still kind of Harden, but like he's been really good. Now he no-showed the last game, so it's kind of funny. He's actually no-showed like the last 2 games, and it's kind of like he's blowing up my take, because I said in our Slack, I said I think the Clippers, like before the playoffs started, and then especially so after game 1, I think I said like I think the Clippers are going to go to the finals, because like Kawhi was looking like San Antonio, Toronto Kawhi, Harden's looking like Houston Harden, and like their team is just like Norm Powell's good, Zubats is good. They've got the right mix of like talented role players. Like I really like how their team's put together, and I think Ty Lue's the most underrated coach in the league. I think every LeBron coach gets kind of thrown under the bus a little bit, because you just give so much of the
That's right.
credit to LeBron, which is fair. Like the players deserve most of the credit here, especially someone like LeBron. But like Ty Lue's a really good coach. And yeah, now they're one loss away from not making it out of the first round, but they're still like really good. I think they got the worst draw, for them compared to like if they could have played the Lakers, or if they could have played even this Rockets team, I think they'd be, or the Rockets, or if they could have played even the Timberwolves, I think they'd be doing better.
Well, it's genuinely fascinating to me. So the Nuggets won game 1 in overtime. The Clippers won game 2, but they took control in game 2 and then dominated the Nuggets in game 3.
Yeah.
And so as I'm watching the series, watching the Nuggets go down 2-1, one of the things I was really interested in, and then game 3 was like a game where Kawhi was just unstoppable, was can we ever be in a position with just in the basketball nerddom to discuss how incredible the 2020 and 2021 series were between the Mavericks and the Clippers? Because a lot of people shit on the Mavericks for those series for losing, because they were up 2-0 and then Carlisle killed them with a timeout, ruined the momentum in game 3. Kawhi just went nuts in game 6, and probably the single best basketball game I think I'll ever see for a non-Maverick. And then the Clippers fell apart because of injuries. And I wasn't like looking forward to this, but I was sort of hoping to like jog, look at how good this Clippers team and Kawhi Leonard actually are. And then of course the Clippers lost the next 2. And are on the verge of elimination, and they play tomorrow on TNT, 9 p.m. It's going to be probably the game that I watch. And I don't know. I don't want either team to win. I'm not like, I want all these teams to fall into the ocean, but I was looking forward to something. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure. And then like the Nuggets are good, Jokic is good, so that nothing really needs to be said there. But then I keep thinking about the Clippers, because they should have been awful this year. Like the fact that they're the 5th seed and they won 50 games is kind of insane considering their off season.
Yeah.
And judging by they seem, in a year where it seems like not a lot of NBA organizations have their shit together, to put it lightly, the Mavericks, the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, some other teams have already fired GMs and coaches, of course. Like the Clippers, just like Lue is as solid as it comes as a coach. Their front office doesn't seem to be total jackasses. They have an owner that's like the ideal, like, this is what you want out of an owner who like gives a shit, will spend a lot of money, but also like lets the smart basketball people do the basketball things, and he focuses his attention on like what the rich people things are, like building facilities and amenities and all that stuff. So it's like, it feels kind of like they're like the ideal NBA organization to follow, which of course you can't unless like, because it starts top down. Like if you don't have the owner, none of it matters, and you can't fire the owner. So teams can try to emulate it, but if you don't have that, like it doesn't really matter. But I've been thinking about that a lot, as a lot of these NBA teams there's a lot of fuckery going around the last 5 months.
Well, speaking of fuckery, now's my attempt to insert ads into the audio-only version of our stream. Thank you for the people who have let me know that they're still not populating. Shout out to my homies at Odyssey who are telling me that's normal and making me paranoid. Ads are really the way Josh and I get paid. So if they're in the audio stream, if you guys could listen to those, that'd be great. We'll be right back to talk actual Mavs stuff. Okay, thank you so much. If there were ads, somebody let me know. If not, All right, guys, we're 25 minutes in. We didn't mean to talk that much, but Josh and I never mean to talk that much, and we always do. That just is indicative of the fact that we actually like talking to each other. It's Wednesday night as we're recording. For those of you who are unfamiliar, I'm going to try to regularly do a Friday afternoon show, a live show where you can call in just like Josh is doing. I'll post the link. It's real easy to join. Call it Mavs Happy Hour. It's going to be 3 p.m. on Fridays here on YouTube. Anybody listening on who aren't really familiar with this, who never join our post game stuff, who always listen. It's a really easy way to just come talk basketball. I was really surprised with the response that I got, given like an hour's heads up. We had some great call-ins. I really actually enjoyed the conversation. I had a whole list of stuff that I would talk to myself about if nobody called in, but then we had 5 or 6 people. Got like an hour worth of Mavs chat. It was great. We're kind of in a weird zone right now, but we'll, ramp stuff back up. If you haven't subscribed to our show, please do so. I like the comments that we received. I got somebody commenting on our Tim McMahon post from several weeks ago. That made me laugh. It was like, why didn't you talk about the trade in your book? I responded to her and was like, well, the book was already went to print. Anyway, let's see here. The Mavs stuff. We have 2 things on our agenda that were really kind of boring. And, I wanted to point out the ridiculousness of the fact that this was the first week since the Luka Doncic trade where we haven't had something insane disclosed. It's been a long time.
Yep.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it helps that there's no games. So local media is done. They have no reason to write about the team anymore.
Did you see Mike Curtis's Dallas Morning News article?
Yeah, about Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
that was good. But I meant there's no reason to poke around right now. And then all the national guys are like McMahon's. What? 2 of his team, Wolves and Rockets, fall under his beat. Yeah. So he's got plenty to, and Memphis falls under his beat. I guess OKC maybe does too. I can't remember what was. I don't even know if he still has that responsibility anymore.
Right.
But I think he's just ESPN now. I remember that's what he used to do, is had some Western Conference teams under his belt that he would cover specifically. But they're all busy doing that. So I feel like no one's really putting the microscope on them too hard right now, because there's no news, and thankfully Nico has just crawled back into whatever hole he is hiding in, I guess, because I still feel like, I don't know if this is true, but he can't be going out in public, because I feel like we would have known.
That's a good point. People take pictures, and there's all sorts of rude people that do that sort of stuff to public officials.
Yeah. So.
I do want to just. I'm trying to think how to phrase this nicely. I thought that Mike Curtis' Dallas Morning News piece on Anthony Davis was excellent. I will contend with the title and the way it was framed, where he basically was like, Anthony Davis is built for this. And you can.
He quite literally is.
He's quite literally built for being on bad teams. Is like that. That's not what Mike intended. But that's Anthony Davis is not a number 1 option. So let's quit making fetch happen. Let's start with the weird Mavericks news first, because this one cracked me up. Shout out to the Mavs Reddit sub forum for this, because I would not have seen this for days if not for that whole thing. There was a Variety piece on the Adelsons, Miriam Adelson in particular. We don't talk about her a lot because we choose not to, because we don't want to talk about her. That essentially said, since the start of since the inauguration, really kind of goes back further, late 2023, 2024, early 2025, Miriam Adelson and Sands Corp, which is the parent company that owns the Mavericks, has taken an absolute shit kicking in every possible advent of their business. it was brutal. It was a brutal read. Like there was an offhanded comment about how the Mavericks traded Luka and then proceeded to go on and list how they've lost every legislative battle that they had hoped to win.
Yes.
And that's I don't want to overread into it, but I think it's worth mentioning, and that's why we bring it up.
It is kind of funny that in the article they talked about what they spent $400 million to try to get that Long Island casino built, and on one hand, like, wow, they did that and it didn't work, and then on the other hand, these people are so rich, they literally, like, I don't know. I can't decide if they even know. Like, does that bother them? Like,
and one of the things that I found fascinating,
notice it
for me as like a person that enjoys reading business stuff because I'm a sicko. The Miriam Adelson slipped out of the Forbes top 50, but she's still worth $30 billion. And they've just sunk all this money into stuff. And like I kept, and how I want to make this Mavs adjacent is people kept asking me, do you think the Mavericks or do you think the Adelsons are going to continue to own the Mavericks? I don't know. Someone pointed out to me that they could sell and then harvest their losses for several years, which is a thing you can do within the tax code. I don't know if that would be of interest to them. I mean, this has been a disaster for, like, the Mavericks ownership tenure has been a disaster because Nico Harrison is one of the dumbest fucking people on the planet. Like, to me, whether or not that's fair, I don't care. They nuked the Mavs valuation by trading away the most valuable asset. You know, we're dabbling on touching into some things at Mavs Moneyball because, look, we're a fan website, but they've hurt the business, and there's just no way around that. You know, like Kevin Gray, shout out Kevin Gray in the chat. He said that there's Fire Nico thing chance happening at the WWE event that was here in Dallas. Like what?
Yeah, like, say what you will about the actual basketball part of the trade. Even if you're one of those people that think Nico was right or you didn't like Luka, like, you cannot, like, the business part is black and white, cut and dry. There's no gray area. Like, even if Anthony Davis is as awesome as Nico says he's going to be, and this team is going to reach whatever highs he thinks they're going to reach, like, the business has been impacted right now, and there's really no changing it for. I mean, I don't even know. Like, even if they were better next season, like, I don't know. I'm gonna be really curious to see what the arenas look like next season. I can't figure out if there's just, because it's so hard. Like, there's just kind of like an inertia that develops with this team with stuff like this. Like,
yeah.
But we've heard enough story. Like, it's one of those things where I'm kind of rambling, but it's like, how much do you want to trust, like, all these individual anecdotes? Because it's like, okay, we're hearing all of this, but, like, there are still, like, DFW is a very big area, and the American Airlines Center is 19,000 capacity. Like, even if 5 million Mavericks fans swear they're never going to watch a Mavericks game or spend another cent on the team again, obviously they would feel that, but you could still find 15,000 people to get to the AAC.
I mean, Cuban did it for years. Like, the Mavericks weren't always good during Cuban's ownership, and they had that ridiculously funny sellout streak.
Oh yeah, well, that was sellout. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, we just wanted to touch base on that. Then the last thing, we'll get out of Dodge. This is a fun thing, and I'm glad we saved it for last because there's some fun. I think it's, like, we've known for quite some time that Dirk Nowitzki was going to be part of Amazon NBA coverage. Is going to be part of, I think, their studio show. Steve Nash, who is currently part of LeBron James's podcast, can't remember what it's called. Jason Gallagher will kill me, but he's joining that team, and the collective Amazon team is quite excellent, in my opinion.
Who is it besides Dirk and Nash? I know Taylor Rooks. I don't remember who else. Dwayne Wade, right?
Let me see here. NBA on so there's Dwayne Wade, Candace Parker, which I think might be doing game-to-game coverage. Candace Parker joining is interesting. She's been with TNT. Who else? Stan Van Gundy will be a color commentator. What else do we got? I'm getting ads that are popping up, so I'm trying to read this. Taylor Rooks, Blake Griffin, Dirk Nowitzki, Ian Eagle, and Kevin Harlan. money.
Yeah,
Like,
that's pretty good. That's a good crop.
And to me, people have been sending me the various wonderful Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash photos from over the years.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that is kind of undervalued but for me that I tend to forget, like ESPN's coverage makes me so sick because it's gross. And like Kendrick Perkins gets to be whatever it is he is up there. One of the things that makes the TNT coverage work for so many people is the fact that Kenny, Chuck, and Charles are all friends.
And they're funny.
And they're funny.
Even if they say stupid shit, they're funny.
Dirk and Nash are friends. So friends talking basketball is important. It works. And like Dirk, like we know that Dirk's funny.
Yep.
We're about to, the nation is about to find, the basketball nation is about to find out, how funny some of these people are together. Like Blake Griffin and Dirk, if they figure out any sort of back and forth, it's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think Dirk has definitely got the personality to be very entertaining. I am super curious to get a more consistent stream of his basketball takes because he really doesn't give them that much.
I think it's on purpose.
Right. And like it's just funny because NBA players do not like there's a reason the players are the players and the general managers are the general managers.
Yep.
They don't always have the best
Dirk's responsible for the Rajon Rondo trade.
I said that in a Discord server that I'm with some of my friends.
We love it, but it is what it is.
Right. So I'm very curious to hear what his takes are. I'm sure they'll be fine, but there could be some potential for some hot takes that aren't, driven by the narrative stuff, just in terms of the basketball stuff. It could be fun, but at bare minimum, regardless of whether you think the basketball critique is good or bad, they'll be fun. I think they'll be entertaining to watch because Blake is a funny guy too. Dwayne seems to, I know everyone in Dallas hates Dwayne Wade. I get it. They all seem like guys that don't hate the product or don't hate the current generation of guys. So that also helps too.
Well, before we get out of here, there's a couple more things I wanted to touch on. First, we're starting rolling out. It's Wednesday, so we already have 3 of them up. But we're slowly but surely doing our player-by-player reviews at Mavs Moneyball. We're going to insert some other stuff in there. We're not going to start our draft coverage officially until after they have a real pick, because we'll probably write on everyone just because it's fun. But once you know where they're actually going to be drafting, and I don't think they're actually legally allowed to trade their pick until draft night. I believe so. Yeah. So we'll see kind of where we go from there. The Mavericks are right up against the, now we get to be accountants. The Mavericks are right up against the first apron. So they have 13 players. Like, there's just a lot of stuff the Mavericks have to work out. Josh and I will be kind of talking and covering that as we get into the days and weeks ahead. I did want to note one interesting thing. So I've been, SB Nation gives me the opportunity to run these polls with questions. And I ran one last week about whether Nico Harrison must be fired and whether Nico Harrison should be fired and whether Jason Kidd should be fired. Did you see this on the site?
Yes, I did.
So 96% of respondents said that Nico Harrison should be fired. Not super surprising, but probably the highest one we've ever done.
Right. Yeah.
Did you see the Jason Kidd one? Because this one fascinated me.
I didn't see the Jason Kidd one.
Jason Kidd, 54% of Mavericks fans think Jason Kidd should lose his job.
That tracks to me. That doesn't surprise me.
Really? Why?
Because, I think we see it in the replies. A lot of people genuinely think that he had nothing to do with the trade,
which is hogwash.
And you know what? I want to get mad at it, but people don't we know. I'm not trying to say we know more, but we read more.
Yes, okay, that's true.
A lot of the Jason Kidd stuff is inside baseball. It's not as well reported. I know there was the book about Giannis, which is pretty out there. But we're so far removed from those Milwaukee years that there are probably people that don't realize how messy his Milwaukee and Brooklyn years were, because he was very quiet with the Lakers. There was not really, you didn't hear anything about him negatively when he was coaching the Lakers, and then then he came to the Mavs. So he's put enough distance between himself and his bad tenures that I think he is, and he's he's a really good playoff coach. Like I know the regular seasons have been kind of up and down, but like I think he's endeared himself to part of the fan base for the way that he's able to get the most out of players during the playoffs. And the locker room has, like, they've had 2 awful disaster seasons, and not once during those 2 awful seasons would you be like, well, one of the awful things was the team quit or gave up on the coach.
It's true.
So like that part doesn't surprise me.
Well, and he's very much starting to distance himself from Nico. That's the part that's been killing me.
Yeah,
where
he's not done.
There's stuff out there where it's like, well, he didn't want this. He was very unhappy with it. And it's like, Tim McMahon kind of nuked that on the Bomani Jones podcast, where he was like, I have him on like in background saying this, and now that the trade's done, I'm just gonna tell people. And I'm like, ooh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Anything else before we get out of Dodge?
No, I can't believe we talked this much.
I mean, you and I, like, I think we did this on purpose. Like, we run our website, but I think we kind of don't talk to each other during the week on purpose, just so we can have stuff to talk about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You have very good reason for not watching Andor. I finished the second, I'm through the first 6 episodes of season 2, and I am badgering people to watch this show. It's the most batshit television I've seen. It's like watching a movie at home. It's great. Love it.
I'm gonna try. Maybe I'm going out of town for work. I'm gonna be in a hotel room for some of those nights. I'm gonna be on. I don't know if I want to watch it on a plane though. I'm not gonna.
No. I mean, it's like you.
I gotta watch it on my nice TV.
Yes, you have a beautiful television, and that's really where the Tony Gilroy of it all shines through. I watched it tonight, and I'm just sitting there going, "Oh my god!" Anyway. You got to watch Sinners. You told everybody this. You told the Slack this. You got to watch Sinners on 70 millimeter, the great big screen.
That's right, 70 millimeter IMAX. One of, I think, 19 theaters in the world that can do it, and one of them is off 635 on Webb Chapel. I guess it's technically Dallas. It might be Farmers Branch. I can't remember, but it's really funny that it's there, and it's been there forever. It's been there since I can remember. We both grew up
right.
Here. I think it's been here since we've been kids. Yeah, it was awesome. Again, I'll reiterate that I'm a little disappointed that Oppenheimer kind of blew up my spot. Because seriously, they've been doing so. Dark Knight was the first major mainstream 70 millimeter IMAX movie to be released. Everything before that, is like the documentary kind of stuff.
Right.
That was the first. That was 2008. So I've been going to I've seen every 70 millimeter IMAX mainstream movie in IMAX, 70 millimeter IMAX, since then at that theater. There's only, it's basically like the Nolan movies and then maybe like two or three others after that. And I've never had trouble getting tickets until Oppenheimer. Whatever it is, Oppenheimer, the cat was out of the bag after that. And now it's like, I'm lucky I got the tickets I did when I did, because we had someone on our staff, Jordan, who was like, I'm trying to get tickets. Everything is sold out. And it was like that for Oppenheimer after like the first.
He went and saw like a 2:30 in the morning screening, if I remember correctly. It was either you or him, right?
Oh, I did. I went. No. I didn't. I did 2:30 in the morning for the Interstellar re-release. That was last winter. Because remember, I don't know if I remember, because if I told y'all, but the projector broke in the middle of our screening. And we were like, oh no. And every ticket was sold out after that. And it was a re-release. So it's only in theaters for like 2 weeks, because it's a re-release. It's not going to be in theaters for very long. So I was following on Reddit, the projectionist was posting on Reddit, like, we ordered the part, here's the FedEx tracking. It's coming in. I'll tell you when it's up. And so I got lucky, because what they did was they canceled the tickets because the projector was broke. And then they put them back up, and I happened to get a seat for 2:30 in the morning, because it's Megan's favorite movie. It was one of the first movies we saw together when we were dating. It was really funny because she was like she's into movies, but she didn't know what we were doing. And we walked into the theater, and she's like, "What the fuck is this? Like, why are we here? And like, why is this manager talking to us before the movie starting? Why is he telling me this?" And I'm like, just wait. And now it's her favorite movie. It's probably her favorite movie experience ever.
Love
so yeah, it's probably, I think it's too late for anyone in the DFW area to go, but
No, but this is good because if
But-
there's demand for this stuff, that means
Right.
we'll bring it back. Maybe we'll get more expensive ticket prices, which sucks. But for people who like movies and you love, well, you, Jack, we have I have somehow hired like
I know.
over the years, I've somehow hired like actual film connoisseurs, like not just people who like movies, but people who like film. And you guys are all, and it's great for this stuff. It's great, and that's honestly partially why I'm being a ridiculous asshat about Andor to you.
I know,
is
because it's right up my road.
It should be on the, like, I would kill to see. There have been 18 episodes so far, probably 6 of which I would want to see on a huge screen because it's made with that much care. I'm really something. It's something. All right, so I'll be back Friday at 3. You guys set your watches, set your calendars, join, like click and do the bell on YouTube. We will we'll have fun. Like I was the first caller, can't remember his name, but he had never joined the show before. And we talked for like 15 minutes and I was like, this is why I do this. This is why I keep doing this, because there are people out there who have things to say that are way more interesting than me. And it's we have I discovered like the chief hater of our show this week, favorite. Just loved reading his anger. And I'm just like, you're talking to me because you care about the Mavericks. Like, let's just talk about basketball. It's great. Basketball's great.
Yep.
Even when Nico Harrison guts your soul. Thank you guys so much. Everyone enjoy and take care of the rest of the week. Hopefully everybody stayed safe in these batshit storms today. I'll be back Friday and then next week probably with somebody else because Josh has to go out of town for work, which I don't think has ever happened before.
No. Nope.
So we'll figure that out. Everybody be good. This has been Pod Maverick After Dark. Go Mavs.